Before beginning work on actual design stuff, I think it's really important to do some planning. So with this, the first thing you're going to want to do is once you have the planning sheet open, is find your original magazine cover that you developed in Photoshop. What you're going to do with this is you're going to look at it again, and I want you to be able to show it off in the screencast, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But for this part, you'll fill this out. The idea is you're going to do this planning sheet, then you're going to create a Pinterest board, then you're going to record a screencast, and you'll be turning that screencast in by midnight tonight. So with this part, just put in your name. What was the name of your magazine? If you had to describe your magazine, what's the main point? What's the purpose of this particular magazine cover that you made? What would be inside of this magazine? Types of articles and things. Then tell me what the magazine titles that you used already on the cover. What are those names of the articles? You may have had one, you may have had 5. It just depends on how many you put on there. Now, you don't have to use any of those magazine articles that you originally came up with for this project, but the article needs to make sense that it would have come from this magazine. Down here is where you're going to flesh out your 3 possible article topics. So you're going to come up with 3 possible topics for your articles. And more importantly, what is it going to be about? And then what types of opening images would you actually use for that topic? What kinds of things would you put in there? And be specific. The more specific you can be here, even if you're not 100% certain that that's what you'll use, it'll be really useful for you as you go out to search for images later. And then the supporting images, this has to do with what types of images do you think you would want to put on the second spread? Because I think that one's the trickier one to work with, but I think thinking about it now will be really useful. So give me 3 possible article titles. They do not have to be the ones that you already use. If they are the ones you already use, that's fine. You can put those in there. If you want to choose one, totally up to you. Then try to figure out which one you're most interested in doing. Then what you're going to do is create a Pinterest board. I have a short video on what to include with that. I give you some little search tips and stuff. So take a look at that video when you get ready to start it. And then for your screencast, the idea is you're going to show me your magazine cover. So actually have it loaded up and show me your magazine cover. And then show off this planning sheet and essentially go through each of the answers and what your thoughts are as you were developing this stuff. And then tell me which article you're most interested in developing. And more importantly, why? What is it about that one that's really grabbing you that you think is going to be a good quality starting point for this project? And then show off your Pinterest board and briefly explain what you liked or found interesting about the spreads that you pinned. That doesn't have to be every single one of them, but definitely the ones that you found most interesting. All right, that is what you're going to be working on, and that will be due by midnight tonight. Make sure, please, set your video to public.